Welcome back, everybody. As you all know, the Shadowverse meta, right now in rotation, kinda mid. So they announced a balance patch coming out October 24, 1 a.m. Pacific time. They're buffing Dirt, they're buffing Buff, and they're buffing Ghost randomly. The Dirt buffs... Alright, so buffing Multi-Elemental Neophyte to becoming a 1-drop is pretty nice. It just gives you an additional play. Turn 1, you immediately get the augmentation, and also just having a 1-drop Dirt generator, because when it dies, it makes a Dirt, alongside like your Aquamarine Witch or whatever she's called, and your other stuff. It just means that you almost always have a stack in case you so it makes, like, for example, why do I not know what these cards are called? Great start to the video, Igni. It makes this spell less of a chance to brick, which is nice, you know? So you always have a turn 1 Dirt that you can then immediately build the stack up with the Celestial Fuse, which is fantastic. So just a nice quality of life. Do-over? No. We're not editing this video either. We do it live. But then this one, the Golem Lord buff, is actually maybe impactful. Like, on 6, he's wait, he was 7 cost before. Not even 6. I forgot about that. Okay, that's super crazy. Okay, so he was like just way too late, because obviously in this meta, the game legit ends on turn 7. So playing a Golem Lord on turn 7 that doesn't do nothing, not fantastic. At least with this, right? You play it on turn 5 in the mid game, get the Earth Rite, summon 2 golems, deal 5 damage to all enemy followers. It's good. It's good. I think the Dirt mirrors are going to be really dumb, because you're going to have a turn 5 Golem Lord, and then the person going second is going to play a turn 5 Golem Lord. That's kind of silly. I just don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I'm not optimistic that this will affect the meta that much, because I made some memes about it on my Twitter. Listen, okay? You play the Golem Lord, they still have 2 agents. You die, you play the Golem Lord, they do this to you, you die. So I'm a bit concerned still. What you could do though is you could, like, turn 6 have Chaos Witch up. That's her name, right? Chaos Witch? Why do I not know any of the cards of this expansion? Yeah, no, Undying Witch. You play the Undying Witch. I'm not re-recording, okay? We just go straight through. You play the Undying Witch leader effect, right? And then you can play the Golem Lord, and on top of the Golem Lord, you also have what's it called? Pascal, make a big board. Obviously it still dies to Hedony, but you know, it's possible. It's just nice. You can play Earthright a little more without wanting to die. you at least have plays. The thing is, I just don't know if it's actually gonna affect the meta that much. All right, because, like, no nerfs to Jean, no nerfs to Loot. I've been saying this for a little while. If you just push the meta back 1 turn 8 finishers, best meta ever. But that's not the world we live in. So anyway, this buff is actually legitimately good, and I'm happy because Dion is a card I revealed. I accidentally pulled the cord of my microphone, so hopefully my voice doesn't sound weird now. But yeah, with the buff, Dion is actually going to become a 3-of in every buff deck, no question about it, because now he's playable on turn 2 without having to buff him beforehand, whereas before, when he wasn't buffed, he would just be a dead card. And also in the late game, he would also be a dead card. This fixes both the problems. Now pre-buff Dion can buff your deck. I feel like a crazy person talking about this deck. Pre-buff Dion, because it's pre-buff this buff, and pre-buff before the card in the game gets buffed. Pre-buff Dion couldn't buff your deck. Post-buff, pre-buff Dion can buff your deck on turn 2. You know? He still has the normal effect as well of ramping if he's buffed, post-buff. So post-buff Dion can also buff your deck and ramp now. And in the late game, post-buff Dion buffs your deck and recovers an evolution point, which means that you can now cut Olivia and Sylvia. If you didn't follow that, play more Shadowverse, I guess, because what I said actually makes sense, which is hilarious. So you can actually cut Olivia and Sylvia now. Doesn't matter, because you can have, you know, you already have Jazz, so you can cut Olivia and Sylvia, just run 3 Dion, and then always have an evolve for your Joe finisher, right? Which is really important. So with the evolve point recovery, you always have the ability to play Joe, evolve it for that massive swing, whereas before you'd have to be a little more conservative with your evolve points. Dion being a 2-cost evolve point generator is really good. And the last buff is really strange. Just a random Barbaros buff for apparently no reason. Why? I mean, listen, I guess Masquerade Ghost is rotating in the next set, and you know, they really are taking the loss of Corral Souls very hard. So just giving Barbaros a little push, so now you can play turn 3 Barbaros into 1-cost Barbaros, and actually clear something while also generating ghosts that go face. It's nice, but I don't know if it's gonna save ghosts. I do actually have a ghost build somewhere around here. Which is good for me, because that just means I have an excuse to play Soul Extraction, which is maybe the horniest card in the game. Hell yeah, baby! It's time. Anyway, the Barbaros buff is good for this deck. Makes it a little bit more viable. I still don't know if it's really that important, because like heal exists, so nice burn damage deck, loser. I'm gonna heal back to 20, clear your board, and make 2 invincible 20 stat guys. So again, another buff where it makes the meme deck, or not meme I guess, but it makes the less meta deck more playable, but it doesn't actually, I think, really affect the meta. None of these do, I think. I hate to say it. I wish I could be a bit more optimistic, and I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't think this really affects the meta that much. It just makes the lower tiers a little bit less painful to play. Finally, the last thought I have is, why are they doing Tortured Soul like this? Apparently in the game, his text states that on his evolve, he summons a zombie and evolves it, but actually, the zombie doesn't evolve. It's wrong text, and instead of buffing Tortured Soul to match his text, they're just gonna remove this part of his text and leave him like that, which is tragic, okay? Tortured Soul, nobody plays him. It took this long for anybody to even discover that this misprint existed, and now they're just doing him dirty. So, rip Tortured Soul. Let me know what you guys think about this balance patch. Man, if this does not affect the meta, and I hope it does, but if it doesn't, they better put Jean in that guillotine. They better put Barbaros in the brig. What do they do with Barbaros? Something's gotta happen. Other than that, that's my thoughts. So, you know, comment, like, subscribe. That's it. Bye.